it all comes down to the eyes. Big, black, shiny button eyes. The monster from Coraline, the one we call the other mother, is not just a character from a children's book. Think of her more as a living fossil, a predator that has hunted in the shadows of our world for centuries, wearing countless other names. And by the end of this investigation, you will understand not only what she is, but the terrifyingly real folklore that explains why she needs to eat souls. Our story begins, as the best stories do, with a bored child. Coraline Jones is whip-smart, curious, and profoundly lonely. Uprooted by her family's move to the sprawling, dreary Pink Palace apartments, she is left to wander its gray gardens and echoing halls while her work-obsessed parents type away, too busy to see her. And that is when she finds the door. Small, unassuming, and locked. Behind it, a solid brick wall. But one night, the bricks are gone, replaced by a swirling, magical tunnel. On the other side is a home just like hers, but better. The colors are warm and vibrant. The food is a feast for the senses. And her parents, they are perfect. Her other mother is attentive. Her other father is playful. They have created this perfect, wonderful world just for her. There is only one small, unsettling detail. Everyone here has big, black, shiny buttons for eyes. It's a strange, quirky feature in an otherwise perfect world. A world that Coraline can make her own, forever. The other mother offers her a deal. Her voice is sweet as honey. "You can stay," she says. "There's just one little thing we'll have to do." She holds up a needle, a spool of black thread, and 2 shiny buttons. The offer is simple. The price is final. Let us sew these buttons on your eyes. What did you think the first time you heard that offer? Let us know in the comments. And with that chilling invitation, our investigation begins. Why buttons? Why eyes? The answer is not in the story, but in the name she is given. The ghost children, her previous victims, warn Coraline. They never call her the other mother. They have another name for her. They call her the Beldum. Today, the word Beldum means an old, ugly, malicious woman, a hag, a witch. And at first glance, that fits. She is a crone-like creature who steals children. But that's only half the story. The word is an ancient clue. If we trace it back through Middle English to Old French, we discover its original meaning. Beldam, the beautiful woman. This double meaning isn't a contradiction. Instead, it's a perfect description of her hunting method. She is both things at once, a beautiful lure and the ugly truth hiding behind it. This archetype is ancient. It echoes in the famous poem by John Keats, La Belle Dame sans merci, the beautiful lady without mercy. She is a fairy-like creature who lures a knight with beauty and song, only to enslave him and drain him of his life. The beautiful woman is a mask, a glamour worn to hide the monster beneath. And the world she built? It is the same kind of trap. The other world is a classic fairy trap, lifted directly from European folklore. For centuries, our ancestors told stories of a parallel realm, the land of the Fae, a place of mesmerizing beauty, where time moves differently, and the food is so enchanted it traps any mortal who eats it. A world that seems perfect. But it is an illusion, a dangerous glamour designed to ensnare them. When the magic fades, the beautiful feast is revealed to be nothing but rotten leaves and dust. Let's kick up some more dust. Subscribe for the next excavation. The Beldam's world operates by the same ancient rules. It's a pocket dimension, a fabricated reality that crumbles into gray nothingness the further Coraline wanders from the house. It is only as real as the Beldam's power allows. This brings us to her victims. The 3 ghost children she captured long ago tell Coraline she took their souls. This act of child stealing places the Beldam squarely in the tradition of a very specific folkloric creature, the changeling. For thousands of years, people believed that fairies, trolls, or other supernatural entities would sneak into human homes to steal babies from their cribs. Sometimes, they would leave a substitute in its place, a sickly fairy child or an enchanted piece of wood that looked like the baby. The Beldam is a predator in the changeling tradition, but she is far more efficient. She doesn't bother with substitutes. She lures the children away themselves, stealing them from their lives entirely, promising them everything they desire, only to trap them and consume them. A witch, a fey queen, a child stealer. These clues are all correct, but they are just symptoms of a much deeper, much stranger identity. The real answer lies in what she becomes when the mask of the other mother finally slips. When Coraline defies her, the Beldam's Beldam facade shatters. She grows taller, her limbs stretching into sharp, insect-like angles. Her hair writhes like something alive. And her true form is revealed to be something arachnoid, a spider. This spider-like form is so much more than a random monster design. In fact, it's the very key that unlocks her entire identity. So the Beldam isn't a witch who simply looks like a spider. Underneath it all, she is a spider who wears the disguise of a witch and a mother. Across the globe, mythology is filled with powerful spider entities. They are the great weavers. In West Africa, there is Anansi, the trickster god who holds all the world's stories in his web. In Greek mythology, there is Arachne, a mortal weaver so skilled she challenged the goddess Athena and was cursed to become the first spider, forever weaving her tapestries. In Japan, the Joragumo is a spider demon that can shapeshift into a beautiful woman to lure samurai to their deaths. Can you think of any other spider tricksters from myths around the world? These mythological figures are rarely simple monsters. They are often portrayed as creators, tricksters, and architects of fate. The Beldam belongs to this ancient family of mythological weavers. This explains how she creates her world. She doesn't cast spells in the way a traditional witch might. She weaves. The other world is her web, spun from illusion and magic. The bait in this web is crafted from Coraline's own desires: loving parents, magical toys, a vibrant garden. She literally pulls the threads of reality to create a custom-made trap for her victim. This is why her world disintegrates when she's weak, or when Coraline moves too far from its center. The web is only strong where the spider is present. The toys in the other world are animated by her magic, but they are just puppets on her strings. The other father is a construct she built, a pathetic doll stuffed with sand that she eventually silences for defying her. Everything, from the clockwork dragonflies to the talking cat, exists as part of this elaborate trap. And here we arrive at the halfway climax of our investigation. The Beldam isn't simply borrowing from different mythologies. She is a perfect synthesis of them. She uses the beautiful, deceptive lure of the Fae to get her victims to step into her parlor. Once they are inside, she operates like a mythological spider deity, weaving a world around them, a web of bespoke pleasures. And her ultimate goal is that of a changeling entity, to steal the child away from their real life and feed on them. She is a hunter who builds her own hunting ground. But this brings us to the final, most important question. Why does she do this? What does she gain? To answer that, we must decode the final clue, the buttons. She wants something to love, the cat tells Coraline. Something that isn't her. Then he adds, or maybe she just loves something to eat. The chilling truth is that both statements are correct. The Beldam is driven by a hunger that is both emotional and literal, and the act of sewing on the button eyes is the key to satisfying it. Across nearly every culture and spiritual tradition on Earth, the eyes are regarded as something special. Our eyes are more than just sensory organs, aren't they? We call them the windows to the soul. They are the part of us that perceives the world, and in turn, the part of the world that perceives us. To look into someone's eyes is to see their life, their consciousness. Now, think about a button. Its function is simple. It is a fastener. It closes things. It holds them shut. When the Beldam demands to sew buttons over a child's eyes, She is performing a powerful, symbolic act of ownership. She is permanently fastening the soul inside the body. She is closing the windows, trapping the child's life force so it cannot escape. In that single horrific act, she transforms a living, breathing person into an object. A doll, a toy for her to possess. The ghost children are proof. Their spirits can only be freed when Coraline finds their real eyes, the soul marbles that the Beldum plucked out and hid. Once they have their eyes back, their souls are released. This is why the Beldum fights so furiously to keep them. They are her trophies, but more than that, they are her pantry. So why does she eat souls? Because she is a psychic parasite. Folklore is filled with creatures that feed not on flesh and blood, but on life force, on emotions, on vitality. The Beldum targets unhappy children because their deep, unfulfilled longing for love and attention makes them an incredibly potent source of this spiritual energy. She creates a world that gives them everything they think they want, and in doing so, she encourages them to pour all of their love, their joy, and their energy into her. She basks in this affection. She feeds on it. But once she has sewn on the buttons, the hunt is over. The child is no longer a source of vibrant, living energy. They are a captured thing, a meal she can consume at her leisure, draining them of their soul. This means the ghost children aren't merely dead. They are completely hollowed out. She has already eaten their love, memories, and their very essence. Coraline was simply the next course on the menu. And so, we arrive at the final revelation. The Beldum's secret identity. She is an ancient, shape-shifting predator, an arachnoid entity that embodies the most terrifying traits of several mythological creatures at once. She is a composite nightmare. She has the deceptive beauty of the fey Beldam, luring her victims with promises. She has the child-stealing hunger of a changeling, plucking children from their families. She has the patient, world-weaving cunning of a mythological spider, creating her own traps. And she has the soul-devouring malice of a primeval witch, consuming the lives of the innocent to sustain her own. She is not just one of these things. She is all of them, synthesized into a single, perfect predator, designed to hunt the one thing she can never create herself, a child's love. So what does the Beldum truly represent? In the end, she is the physical embodiment of a monstrous kind of love, a selfish, conditional, and ultimately predatory love. She is the smiling face that says, "I will give you everything you could ever want, but in return, I will own you." She offers a world without boredom or neglect, but the price is your very self, your sight, your soul. Coraline's real parents may be neglectful, but their love is real. It comes with no strings attached. The Beldum's love is a performance, a tool, or even a trap. The story of Coraline functions as a modern fairy tale, one that taps into a primal and deeply resonant childhood fear. What if the person who is supposed to love you and protect you most is actually a monster in disguise? What if their love is just a form of hunger? Neil Gaiman, the author of the original book, did not invent a new monster. The beautiful but merciless fae, the child-stealing hag, the soul-eating demon, the patient spider. His genius was in recognizing that these terrifying figures from our collective past were all just different cultural masks for the same fundamental human terror. He simply pulled off the old masks and gave that ancient fear a new, unforgettable face. He gave it button eyes. The Beldum was a predator who disguised herself as a protector. But not all monsters advertise their nature so clearly. Sometimes, the creature we are taught to pity, the innocent victim, is secretly the hunter. That is the shocking, hidden truth behind the fox named Todd, and why the original story of the fox and the hound is far darker than you could ever remember.